crowdsourcing information, of course. So I think we're all good to go. Everything's in place. The commands are done. Exclamation point giveaway, exclamation point wowhead. We're embedded on the wowhead homepage. The stream is slightly buffering, but it's manageable, it's watchable. I do apologise for any tech issues during the broadcast this evening, but thank you for joining me nonetheless. Welcome to the 44th edition of the WoW Economy Weekly Wrap-Up. Got some interesting stuff to talk about today, including some beta updates and changes. The welcome... What's the promotion called even? I should know this, I just wrote about it. The welcome back promotion, I guess, from Blizzard. Giving access to the game to anybody who has an account, even if the subscription is expired, which is going to get a massive influx of returning players. There's also a holiday event active at the moment, the Midsummer Festival. Some gold-making opportunities there, and there's a really cool new add-on that's been developed by a community member that helps you cage and uncage your pets. So we'll be taking a quick look at that as part of the blog. If you are listening on the Wowhead homepage or the blog post itself, I do appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Feel free to click through into the stream itself, because we do have a giveaway active during the Wowhead section of the stream. And the giveaway is for 30 days of game time, open to both EU and NA players. All you have to do to participate is type the word Goblin in my stream chat and follow the stream. And we'll be picking a winner for the game time at the end of the Wowhead section of the stream, which will probably be in about, I don't know, about an hour's time or so. So do feel free to stick around and hang out, ask your questions and share your thoughts and comments in the stream chat. Add-on for the battle pets is awesome, that's good to hear right now too. Got Jack hanging out on the stream in the background here already, as always. So, let's get going here. As I said, welcome to the 44th edition, fast approaching the 1 year mark, which is crazy. For those who are new to the stream, my name is Gumdrops. I am the lead moderator for the WoW Economy subreddit and the accompanying Discord server, which is approaching 28,500 members now, still growing super strong. I'm also the support manager and user evangelist for Trade Skill Master, the auction house add-on suite for World of Warcraft. And the other active Twitch member in the chat, Muffin, the one on Drury Lane, is a developer for the add-on as well. So feel free to ping him with any questions. On the weekly wrap-up, I do hope to cover and showcase the interesting topics and discussions, some of the content and guides that have been posted and discussed in the community over the last week. Some of it that you might have missed as a veteran to the community, or some things that you might be interested in checking out for the first time as a new goblin or as an aspiring goblin. I don't do traditional guides, it's nothing step by step, it's just kind of links to further reading with some commentary and opinions of my own. I'll always be looking at the bigger picture and the decision making and thought processes in being a gold maker. So let's just dive straight into it this week. We've got lots of beta updates and changes to go through, some of the things you might have missed, as I said. But before we talk about the beta itself, we do have a little bit of speculation on when the pre-patch, patch 8.0 will land on the live servers. Generally the pre-patch is about a month before the expansion launch, which this year would land the pre-patch between July 3rd and July 17th. Personally, I think it's pretty doubtful that Blizzard would be cruel enough to make the team work during the American 4th of July holiday, so that narrows it down to July 10th and July 17th. Wowhead itself has put some dates, or put some emphasis on July 17th, because there's some PTR testing that leading up to July 16th, and then the PvP Arena Summer Finals take place on July 14th and 15th. So that all kind of ties in to have the pre-patch land on July 17th, which is close enough to be a month before Battle for Azeroth launches. Even if they don't say, or if they do say rather, that they don't have a date in mind, they generally do have something internally and it's to be expected. It's about a month before the expansion launch. So there's be just under 3 weeks, or just over 3 weeks, sorry, until the pre-patch lands, which means you've got 3 weeks to level your professions and get your characters ready for the new profession systems, which we discussed last week. And be prepared for the new war mode and removal of the PvP tag on servers, which we all discussed last week. So this week's beta build itself did see some refinements rather, to recipes within crafting professions. We definitely saw a reduction in required mats in some recipes, including less expulsum required for stuff like Darkmoon cards, and some increases in materials required for basic crafts needing some more common materials. So this was stuff that Billis and Ixia collected in some data. The Darkmoon card of War, which is the new Battle for Azeroth inscription Darkmoon card, which will be turned into your Darkmoon trinkets. They previously required 10 expulsum at rank 1 and all the way down to 6 expulsum at rank 3. But Billis noticed the recipe changes here on Twitter, and each rank of the Darkmoon card only requires 1 expulsum now, and the amount of ink that is required is the only thing that changes. So it's going to be much easier to generate these cards and make your decks to make trinkets, which is going to be awesome. But the other side of things, we've got more materials required for some of the crafted items like your bracers, which is probably going to be the main target for your scrapper. So Billis actually crafted 300 of these bracers, and instead of 23 expulsum from 300 crafts and scraps from previous tests, he actually got 51 expulsum. So even if the materials required to craft them have increased, the amount of expulsum that you get from them has also increased at the same time. So there's some early data here to indicate there are 0.2 bracers per expulsum, and if monolite ore is at 10 gold, for example, that would be 500 gold per expulsum to create or mass produce with these low level crafted items. Because of course any item that can be crafted, or I guess 99% of items that are crafted, can be scrapped, and you don't need to scrap an item that requires expulsum in order to scrap it. So all these low level basic super cheap crafts are going to be mass produced just like the bracers were in Legion to generate bloods and enchanting mats, and that's going to be a really lucrative and consistent source of expulsum. It's going to be much easier to acquire expulsum than it ever was to acquire Bloods of Sargeras, based on the new systems and infrastructures in Battle for Azeroth. So that's a cool change. I think I'm excited to see how that all pans out. Quest rewards can be scrapped also. Yeah, exactly. So crafted items, quest rewards, BOEs that drop in the open world, any items you get that have the can be scrap or scrappable tag on the tooltip can be put into the scrapper, and you can get materials out of it, including the bind on pickup expulsum, which is of course the new version of Blood of Sargeras. Quick shout out to Manda, thank you so much for the host. I hope you're doing well today. Hope your stream was good fun. How's it going, Jimbo? So these there's Monel or Monel hardened arm guards and some various other low level crafts are definitely going to be your primary targets for expulsum generation. So keep an eye out on those cheap crafts.
Hey, how you doing?
And further discussion on mining itself. Records with Want to Buy Gold has put together an overview. It's not a deep dive per se, but it's certainly a really neat insight into what mining is doing in Battle for Azeroth.
I owe you one.
Oh yeah.
Hey. What's up, Jimbo? Thank you so much for the 7-month sub. It's much appreciated. I see some goblins in the chat. Before we continue here, always good to see you. Hope your weekend's going well so far. But yeah, Records is discussing mining profession overall in Battle for Azeroth. Some interesting information there. The animations and models and textures for the new ores or the new mining nodes are pretty amazing. And instead of the node just completely disappearing or fading into nothing after you've mined it, it now has like a used animation, which I think is really cool. So definitely check that out. So moving on to Draenor garrisons, some people for whatever reason has been hanging out in the garrison on the Battle for Azeroth beta. Obviously Goldmaker's checking in on what's going on. But man with a tinfoil hat, probably aptly named, has reported that the work orders are not able to be started or initiated for several buildings at the Draenor garrison on the beta. I'm not sure whether this was intended or whether it's a bug. We did see a tweet from Muffinus, which I probably should have indicated, or rather included, I should say. He did reference the fact that... Let's see if we can find it here. At first glance. Nope. It's not at the top of his Twitter page here. Well, if it wasn't Muffinus, one of the game designers, it was somebody else mentioning, thank you to the guy hanging out in the garrison on the beta. We found some game-breaking bugs. So maybe this is what he was referring to, maybe it's not. Hopefully there's something else that has been reported and fixed. But yeah, so far at the moment on the Battle for Azeroth beta, you can no longer place work orders for your professions. The barn work orders do not work. The mine and herbalism garden do not work. The war mill does not work, and trader no longer works. Although you still can trade resources for materials, which is good. Man with a tinfoil hat did not have other buildings to check. But it does seem that if the barn work orders do not work, unless it's intended, it's going to be a bit of a blow, I guess, to the efficiency of the Draenor garrison and self-sustainability. Didn't word this quite right. Sounds like you get 5 explosive per bracer. Okay, yeah, I got that the wrong way around, Billis. I was trying to understand. I was working on this like super late last night, so I was a little bit sleep deprived. I'm trying to make a head and tail of it when I messaged you on Discord to confirm some things. What time did I message you even? Yeah, it was almost 2 AM last night, which wasn't good. They would have just not added in the work orders, but something must have happened to get rid of them. So whether that's intended or something that was not intended needs to be discussed and kind of identified. So hopefully people have been reporting this on the beta. We'll have to see if this does continue and make it onto live. But yeah, as I say, it will be a significant blow to the efficiency of the Draenor garrison. But as said, it's unclear whether this is intended or not, so definitely we're going to keep an eye on this and make sure we get to the bottom of it. There's been some pretty significant food changes as well. Pretty disappointingly, Bear Tartar and Fighter Chow have been nerfed to the ground. On live, Bear Tartar currently gives 70% movement speed after killing an enemy for 5 seconds. On the beta, this currently gives 250 speed, like the tertiary stat, at level 110, and this is equivalent to 18.5% movement speed, and this will drop down as you level up, because obviously a 250 flat speed increase is not the same as a 70%, like a percentage speed increase. And there's currently no item or food in Battle for Azeroth to replace Bear Tartar at this time. So this is pretty major for farming anything in the game. I think it was pretty much 100% required to have Bear Tartar in most situations for farming, especially old world stuff without flying. And in terms of Fighter Chow, also been checked. At level 120 it now gives almost 2000 HP every 5 seconds when out of combat as a eye level 303 Disc Priest, roughly equivalent to eye level 810 in Legion. This player, the Great Whited, has 87,000 HP. This is equivalent to 2.2% of HP every 5 seconds out of combat. This will definitely not scale with your HP or your gear. Well, I say definitely, but most likely. It's pretty certain that it's not going to scale, because it's both of these food items are going to be undesirable in a Battle for Azeroth. So this will also give more reason to leave farming alts at level 110 or even below if you've got like a level 101 twink, making use of the bonus speed and scaled fight the chow stuff if you're so inclined. But the fact that the crafted legendaries do not work above level 115 and the food gets nerfed above level 110, it definitely see more reason to leave your alts at lower levels for farming purposes specifically. The next item is actually an interesting piece of transmog that's been discovered in the new beta build. I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with Tibu's Blazing Longsword. It's a pretty rare item and pretty valuable on the auction house. A lot of people definitely look out for it because it was featured on the original vanilla WoW game box. And there's a new version in Battle for Azeroth called Tibu's Scorching Straight Sword, and it also happens to be bind on equip. So I think this is going to be another pretty amazing piece of transmog to hunt for, and even just buy and sell in general. It does look a bit better than the original, I think personally. But I guess you'll still always find people who are looking for the original for that nostalgic transmog appearance. So definitely keep an eye out for this. Tibu's Scorching Straight Sword. We don't know where it dropped from yet, but it's definitely BOE, and you can buy and sell it and trade it on the auction house. The next piece of news is not actually directly related to the beta. However, Blizzard has also announced that the mobile armory application will be discontinued completely on July 11th. So this comes about 3 months after the auction house functionality within the app itself was dropped and retired earlier this year. How's it going, old one? One is EOE, it is BOE, yeah, bind on equip, so you can loot it and trade it and sell it to other players. So, mobile armory itself has been pretty useless in my opinion since they removed the remote auction house. There's not really any reason to log into it anymore. Keep in mind, we're not talking about the Legion Companion app where you do your auto haul missions. This is exclusively the mobile armory application where you can look up your character and chat in guild chat, and where you would have gone to do the remote auction house when it was still available. So this application is being retired and will no longer be supported by the World of Warcraft or Blizzard team. But it's not the end of the road, they say, as they're continuing to develop and improve the mobile offering for World of Warcraft. They're definitely saying they're transitioning away from the current mobile armory app and will be converting the Legion Companion app into a new WoW Companion app in the future. So it's not going to be branded specifically Legion anymore, it's just going to be a World of Warcraft game companion, which will probably have current content, activities like your auto hauls, and also stuff like the stuff that's being retired right now in the mobile armory, such as character lookup and guild chat. It's doubtful to me personally that the auction house will make a return in any combined app offering that Blizzard or the WoW team puts out. If it does, it'll make a return in addition of all the exploits and API outages that nobody is missing at this point in time. It's been very nice to have no downtime on the auction house since February, when the mobile armory auction house was being retired. I'll personally be excited to see if we will move through the launch of Battle for Azeroth with no downtime to the auction house, as we have experienced in the past for every expansion launch, where there's a extended outage for the remote auction house, or the auction house in general, due to no longer being brought down by the mobile remote auction house issues. So yeah, I'm personally looking forward to see if that happens. If it does, it kind of reaffirms the fact that all the outages in the past were caused by the mobile or the remote auction house. So just a quick recap and discussion points here. We'll talk a little bit about speculation on when the pre-patch will arrive. We've got some crafting recipe changes in terms of materials required, and I made a little bit of a swapperoo on this one here. It's 0.2 expulsum per bracer rather than 0.2 braces per expulsum, so we'll edit that in later. There's an overview for mining in Battle for Azeroth by Reckles with Wanted by Gold. Some changes, potentially unintended, to the Draenor Garrison with your work orders, with your buildings. There's been some nerfs to Bear Tartar and Fighter Chow, and there's a new transmog piece based on Tibus, and the mobile armory is being retired. So when do you guys think the pre-patch will go live? Will you be keeping any farming characters at lower levels with these changes? And will you be ready for the scrapper shuffling? Are you going to be participating in crafting millions of bracers for various professions and shuffling them into Expulsum? So let me know you guys' thoughts in the chat, or leave a comment on the blog post itself. Curious to hear what your thoughts are. I will take this opportunity before we continue to remind you guys there is a giveaway active in the stream at this moment in time. If you'd like to participate, for your chance to win 30 days of game time open to both EU and NA players, come and type the word Goblin in my stream chat. If you're listening on the Wowhead homepage or the blog post itself, welcome. Do feel free to click through and get involved. I'll be announcing a winner at the end of the Wowhead section of my stream in the coming minutes, probably less than an hour now. I think the second section is probably going to be the biggest, where we have opportunity to chat and discuss things for returning players. How's it going, Hivaladine? Mavis Gaming says July 17th is pre-patch day, but you didn't hear it from me. Interesting. I'd like to know your sources. 10th of July says Mr. Seb, and of course I'm going to craft millions of bracers. Need to Expulsum for my trinkets. Yeah, for sure. I think I was personally rooting for 10th of July, but it makes more sense to get it on the 17th. It would line up a little bit better with other things. Oh, look at this. Billis has even given me something to copy and paste. Let's do that now while we're in the editing section. Swap out these numbers. One, two, three. There we go. Let's save that now, so it looks correct. Thank you for the assist there, Bliss. It's all updated. Yeah, that's what I've just fixed there. GUI Prado. Thank you for the heads up. How's it going, Arua? You think it's safe to stockpile corium? Heard that now old nodes give us more nuggets, like the equivalent more or less to ores if you're not skilled enough. I haven't heard that actually. That wasn't covered in Reckle's video. If anybody has some more insight on that. To answer your question though, I definitely would suggest looking at least the old world materials. We're going to see an increase in demand for those kind of items where all the profession stuff is split up into each expansion individually. Corium, yeah, Corium is always a pretty safe market. It's always in demand and super expensive. Soul Maestro says July 20th. What's up, Totems? Hope you're doing well today. The Karazhan 71 to 80 leveling is being nerfed in the pre-patch. I'm not sure where that one is frozen, but if it is an exploit, then that's probably good. It's being removed. Someone say pass there. Now I'm hungry, yeah. Soul Maestro is not planning on keeping alts on anything below 110. Hope they get them to 120 even a bit sooner than we're getting them to 110. I might leave one of my characters at, or even create a new character for farming purposes. Just maybe boost another druid or something to 110. We'll see how that goes. So moving on to the second section of the blog this week, probably the biggest and most interesting. Blizzard have made a pretty spectacular announcement, if you haven't seen it already, upgrading all inactive accounts, every single one of them, to allow full access to World of Warcraft even if the subscription has expired. So through June 24th, I guess until tomorrow, looking at the calendar here, where's my Firefox here? So Yesterday, today and tomorrow is a free weekend for World of Warcraft. If you have ever played in the past and you do not have a current subscription, you are able to log into the game and play up to Warlords of Draenor completely free, which I think is pretty amazing. So naturally we've had an absolutely avalanche-sized influx of people joining the community now saying, how do I make enough gold in 2 days in order to buy a WoW token? Which is probably not feasible for the vast majority of players unless they've already been sitting on a stockpile of stuff from the past. But it's pretty awesome to see just how many people are coming back and checking out the game before the launch of the next expansion. I think a lot of people are hyped to check it out and wanted to come and see what's going on in the game right now before they decide to invest or pre-order the game. It feels when you resub before the free weekend and wasted 4 days. I mean, 4 days isn't long in the scheme of things. I'm sure if you're enjoying the game, you'll catch up with that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. All inactive WoW accounts will have full access to the game and all your characters without a subscription all the way through till tomorrow evening, I guess. So that if you've ever played WoW in the past, you've now got the upcoming weekend or the weekend right now to dip a toe back into the game. Shout out to Jack with the dipping. Always try and get the word dip in there. Access all your characters and get a taste of what's to come in Battle for Azeroth. In addition, maybe more importantly to some of you guys listening, there is a 25% discount on character services right now, which does include character transfers. So if you've been thinking about moving to a new server or a new home, or if you're on Draenor EU and you're desperate to get off the server, now would be a fantastic time to do that. You've got a 25% discount on any character transfers through the weekend as well. So since the blog is focused on gold making, I wanted to paint a little bit of a picture for what to expect on return to the game in terms of the economy. There will be some huge differences that some of you guys will notice straight away, but some of the big ones that you should know about depending on when your last game break started, since nobody ever really quits, are as follows. I understand most of you guys in the chat or who are regulars to the stream will know all of this information anyway, but it's good to kind of write it down and provide a resource for newcomers or returning players on what has been the big changes in the WoW economy over the last few years. Now my perspective is a returning player from Mr. Pandaria, so what I'd be looking for from you guys is any kind of inputs or updates and advice you can give somebody who played through Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm and what is different from those expansions, because I didn't play those expansions, so I'd be curious to hear what you guys would add to this conversation. But yeah, the biggest thing I guess is the WoW token itself. This was introduced in early 2015 and it allows players to buy game time with gold earned in-game or to purchase in-game gold for real money directly through Blizzard. So this kind of bypasses all the shady black market terms of service breaking sites that sell WoW gold. It's definitely a lot safer since it does go directly through Blizzard. There's no risk to your accounts. But purchasing a WoW token itself for in-game gold also provides an option to convert it into Battle.net balance instead of game time, which can then be used to purchase items in a Blizzard store such as Hearthstone card packs or full games like Overwatch. The original or the initial price of the WoW token started between 20 and 30,000 gold in-game at launch, 20k for EU, no 20k for US or NA and 30,000 for EU at launch, and has now climbed over 200,000 gold for US and 300,000 gold on the EU servers. The price for a token is the same on every auction house within a region, so that one's for you there, Free Stabs. It's not just 350k on your server, it's 350k on every server in EU. And it's not possible to buy a token for gold and then resell it for gold. That would be pretty drastically bad for the game's economy. So you cannot flip your tokens just like you can in games like EVE Online. So naturally a lot of players have got involved in the Goblin and Gold making community in order to ensure that they never have to pay for their game time or subscription with real money ever again, or to fuel their loot box purchases in other Blizzard titles. So over the last 2 years or so, we've definitely seen a huge increase in the WoW economy and gold making community, both in terms of content creators, viewers, lurkers, chatters on Discord and Reddit. And it is such a fantastic community because everybody's pretty sensible. There's never any real dramas or toxicity. Everybody gets along, which is really awesome to see. And I did put a link in here to more specific mechanics and quick Q&A parts about the WoW token in the wowhead.com guide, which is on the site there. Auction houses are now cross-faction. Yeah, that's something we chat about here in the next section here. Some of the in-game changes. If you were shocked at the price of the WoW tokens in terms of their gold price, it's true that inflation in the WoW economy has been pretty steady as long as the game has been active. I think Reckles estimated about between 5 and 10% a year or something like that. If you last played in vanilla, for example, the cost of the epic mount riding skill was out of reach for a lot of players, whereas in today's game it's pretty much pocket change to spend 10,000 gold on a toy from a vendor as part of your collection just as you're passing by. Things will appear to be much more expensive depending on the time period of your frame of reference. So if you were last played in vanilla, numbers in the economy are going to be mind-blowing, but if you last played in, for example, Warlords of Draenor, it's not going to be as big of a shock or a change in terms of what you were used to. What's up, Scorshane? Hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining us. And as Billis just said in the chat, the endgame auction house itself is no longer split between Horde and Alliance. At the launch of Warlords of Draenor, this was all merged together, and there's no such thing as a neutral auction house anymore. So the Goblin auction houses are exactly the same auction houses as they are in Stormwind or Orgrimmar. And there's no difference between them. You can access all the items from the same auction houses across the game. And this means there's a flat 5% auction house cut on sales, rather than an additional 10% on the old neutral auction houses, which no longer exist. Perhaps one of the biggest things in terms of in-game changes are the cross-realm zone mechanics, and this was introduced in Mists of Pandaria. And this is server technology which allows Blizzard to manage resources by allowing players from multiple realms to appear in the same zone, instead of running multiple instances in terms of hardware instances of the same zone for each individual realm. As I say, it was introduced back in Mists of Pandaria in 2012 and trails the current expansion in terms of non-capital city zones being cross-realm zones everywhere that is not a current expansion. So what that means, at the time of writing, all areas up to and including Warlords of Draenor are cross-realm zones, excepting Tol Barad and Wintergrasp, not Wintergraps, I'm going to change that later, the two PvP world zones. And then when Battle for Azeroth rolls around, the Legion zones will also then become cross-realm zones. The nature of this technology also means you can move yourself, not just be moved around by Blizzard or the game infrastructure, to different servers by being invited to the zone of another server group. If you're farming for ores in a zone and you run out of nodes, you can hop, for example, as the term is, to another server by being invited by someone on another server in your zone. So the group leader needs to be in your zone in order for you to phase to their server group, which will be a different instance of the zone. Then you'll phase over to the zone and see all the mining nodes and NPCs from that zone instead of your own server. This does not mean you get access to the auction house or the black market auction house of the other realm. It's literally just the open world or the NPCs that are in your vicinity when you phase to the new server. And speaking of the black market auction house, this was also introduced in Mists of Pandaria. It acts as a gold sink whereby players can buy rare items that are often no longer available or obtainable, like the vanilla tier 3 set pieces from Naxxramas, and mounts tied to remove content like the Swift's Zulian Tiger and the Plagued Proto Drake and things of that nature. So very, very expensive to buy things off the black market auction house because it is a bidding system. If somebody has lots of gold, they'll be prepared to pay more gold than you. They will outbid you before the auction ends. You can speak to the NPC for the black market auction house wherever she ends up in each expansion to access the black market auction house and spend your hard-earned gold. So she arrived in Mists of Pandaria, she moved to Warlords of Draenor, and she has also arrived in Legion in the Dalaran sewers, and she will be also moving to the islands of Battle for Azeroth to continue selling the items on the Black Market Auction House. So I think those are the biggest changes that I would consider on like a need to know basis in terms of priority stuff. So I'd be curious if you guys had any other major in-game mechanic changes for gold making or economy purposes for a returning player. Keep in mind things that have been introduced while you've been playing the game, or things that you should or think should be made aware of in terms of new or returning players based on different expansions. Back to work. Sounds good, Jimbo. Thanks for stopping by today. And I'm glad to hear it's go Shane. You went to camp this week to get it straightened out for July. Very nice. I hope that's all working out good. Getting ready for your vacation. In BFA, there are 2 black market auction houses, but I think they are connected. Yeah, there is 2 in Legion as well. One of them is hidden in the Rogue class order hall, so it's only accessible to that one class. I guess that's something else if I should have put in, is the whole idea of the mission table, which was introduced in Draenor. Lots of passive gold making right there. Loots. Oh, I've been missing your loots today, Wave Molly. I do apologise. I had one from Right12 to begin with. Had a dream that I would see a goblin today, and guess who shows up. Thank you for the loot, Right12. And we had 3 from Wave Molly. I'm being good. I guess you were when we had some tech issues. Almost level 70. Right12 had one saying just full of text, and you've got another one coming up in just a moment. Wave Molly, down with leaving WoW, up with coming back free. Absolutely. Do you think there'll be ganking raids at the mission tables in BFA? Don't think so, Frozen. If your mission table is in your own personal zone. And yeah, as Bill has said, you can just disable bow mode if you don't want to get interactive with other players. What's up, Brackets? Hope you're doing well today. So I put out a tweet yesterday letting you guys know that I was actually writing my blog. We're looking for some insights and tips to share with returning players, and asking for things that players need to know if they last played the game in Burning Crusade or Cataclysm, for example, with regards to today's gold making. So the Gold Queen, one of the OG gold makers in the community, had some things to say, primarily indicating that lots of the old methods for making gold still work, and I definitely think that's a fantastic point. A lot of people will return to the game and say, well, everything I've known up till now is probably irrelevant, and I now need to start learning all the new stuff. But that's not the case in most professions. You can still do a lot of the stuff that you used to do whenever you last played. Obviously depending on the server, but it does take a little time to look into that. But yeah, Gold Queen continues saying, just take things easy, do not rush. I think a lot of people would give anything to have their original leveling experiences back for the first time, even if it is returning to the game and playing from level 60 or 70 or something. When a new or returning player is ready to rush, get TSM groups. Get your stock of current professions before looking at new things. Definitely don't start diving into things you haven't been researching or reading up on. If you've already returning to the game with a profession, that's probably the best place to start. And don't get drawn into flipping things until you've spent a bit more time understanding what they are, why they're valuable, why somebody would need them, and actually how to sell them fundamentally. Otherwise you will get a bag full of crap, as the Gold Queen said. For new things, there's more YouTube than blogs now, which I think is a valid point. And definitely check out Twitch, as you guys are already here hanging out with me today. It's very good to have the live interaction aspect of gold making, answering questions as I do on my stream here, doing lots of Q&A, TSM support, general advice, and handy tips and tricks for gold making. And as Gold Queen finishes off, as I was chatting a little bit earlier, be prepared for the best community in World of Warcraft, which I do truly believe is the case. But definitely one of the most mature and sensible and welcoming communities. And it's a much more accessible community, because in the past it was used to be kind of hidden behind secretive forums or private chat rooms. There was only kind of an elite few that had access and the knowledge or had the means to invest time, and they only shared their information with a small number of people, which it definitely is not the case in this day and age, the current World of Warcraft game, because of course we have the WoW Economy subreddit, which, let's see how many subscribers we have now. Wow, we've already crossed 50,000 subscribers, 50,327. That has definitely gone very quickly. It was only at 48 point something in the last couple of weeks. So lots of people coming through, joining the community. We did have a big Battle for Azeroth beta key giveaway about 2 weeks ago. Fingers crossed we do have another round of that coming up. One more before the launch of the expansion, I guess. And of course we have the 28,000 plus now, 28,400 something members on Discord, where the friendliest goblins are hanging out and chatting all about all things gold making rather. So yeah, as I say, I definitely echo Gold Queen's comments that the gold making community is the best in the World of Warcraft fan base. Yeah, we are the better and more friendly than other WoW communities. You can suck it. Yeah, exactly, Bitters. But no, it's not like that. It's I just think it's very true. As subjective as it is, it's just super friendly, which is awesome. Our friend Ricky, who is a regular to the stream, has also suggested to not expect anything, or expect nothing maybe. The markets they were invested in, as in returning players at the time, could have died out entirely, while others could be extremely profitable even to this day, which is kind of what Gold King was talking about there. Don't dismiss all your old school previous stuff.
Hey, how you doing?
Just because it's from another expansion. It can still be very profitable, and definitely research old as well as new markets. Values are inflated, so while your average item might be far more expensive, they shouldn't be shocked, as the average gold earned from pretty much everything is higher, and thus the average player will have more gold to start off with. It does tie in still to gold inflation or in-game economy inflation. Don't be alarmed if everything is 10 times more expensive compared to when you last played. This is the new default, and as Ricky said, you'll be earning gold to account for that higher number, kind of like a cost of living situation. Even though it's more expensive to live, you'll be earning more gold or more income to counteract that higher cost of living. Posty, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Posty on Twitter. He was a little bit torn to say, but don't sell anything, I guess. The old stuff in their banks could be lying around being super valuable. But don't sell it without a bit of research and checking the market. Prices have changed dramatically, and what may seem like a good price to a returning player might not be in current inflation terms. So, for example, if you're coming back to the game from Burning Crusade, you've got a stack of corium, a stack being a stack of 20, because that's what it went up to back then. You might think, oh, I remember selling this for, I don't know, 50 to 60 gold each, or whatever it was back then. I'm going to put it on the auction house and sell it for the same number, but that would be a mistake, because corium is like 2,000 gold each at this point. So definitely be aware of what you've got before you start trying to sell things. Don't underestimate the value of your inventory if you are looking to liquidate and cash out, so to speak. And of course, our friend Jack, the one and only stream sniper in the corner here, does have a new blog post with a crash course on the fundamentals of gold making. Blog post titled "How Do I Make Gold?" or "You Want to Make Gold?" and also has some recommendations for other community content creators to check out, which is highly recommended. So talking a little bit about realm populations, which methods of gold making you want to do, either farming or crafting, etc. And some kind of valuable, how would you call it, I guess mantras or sayings or philosophies to go by and live by as a gold maker. Kind of like my fortune cookie one-liners in a Discord server, which I've pinned in the general tab of the Discord. Simple things like don't sell at a loss, time is money, don't buy blindly, people are lazy. Jack the Dipper has also put together some very accurate kind of phrases and words to live by, I guess. Here's panda dipping everybody, that's awesome. So yeah, ending the blog post here with some recommendations for content creators, including Samadan, myself, Breg, and the subreddit, Discord, and the Undermine Journal. So definitely go check out Jack's blog post. I'll pop a link to this in the chat if you guys want to catch up on that after the Wowhead section. Well worth checking out. And of course, all this said, if you are a veteran to the game and you haven't taken a break and you're not returning at this point, you are undoubtedly going to find some nice deals on items that are going to crop up after they're posted by people who don't read the advice we've just been working through. So keep an eye on the old world content like materials and recipes, maybe some transmog and stuff like that are going to get dumped on the auction house at some very interesting prices. So now is the time to start sniping, start buying, and keeping an eye out on those juicy deals. At the same time though, it will pay to be nice and respectful to anybody who you see that may be a returning player. To me, this is common sense and is part of playing an MMO game, but remember the person behind the character. I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. And I wish it didn't have to be told or be a point that requires a reminder, but it's sometimes more of a reward, or maybe even a return on investment, in our case as goblins. To go out of your way to be welcoming and friendly to new and returning players. You may get a new friend out of it, and that's definitely important in our community. So if you do see somebody asking questions in trade chat, or just generally being a newbie, i.e. the NEWB, not just a general noob, definitely go out of your way to welcome the new and returning players and make sure that they're having a good time. A friend or a supplier? Yeah, I was going to put that in the blog actually, but I didn't want to make it seem like you're only out there to find people to kind of manipulate or exploit, which I guess would be the case if you're saying, hey, welcome back to the game, do you want to make some gold? Go and farm this stuff for me and supply me directly. As awesome as that would be, I wouldn't advise it for everybody. What's up, Lady Elno? Hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining us this evening. Do you know what's going to happen to the Daggermore food? We haven't seen any changes to that on the beta or the PTR just yet. So hopefully there's not going to be anything too drastic. Any news on the linking more servers, just like in Pandaria, since Ian said it in the Q&A? Nothing on that front yet, Frozen Men. But definitely the developers have said it is planned and is going to hopefully happen soon, TM. Gonna make some gold, go farm some Spirit of Harmony? Yeah, definitely not. What is the sound I hear that says boop? That is my loots coming through. Ponda dropped a loot saying hi Gums and Goblins, thank you very much for the loots. We have another one in the queue, so we'll watch out for that. But yeah, that is a sponsored message system on my stream. You can send in a message and help support the channel. So, discussion point for this second biggest section. Is there anybody listening right now to the stream, either on Twitch or on the Wowhead homepage, who has returned to the game during this welcome back promotional weekend on World of Warcraft? If you have, what was the reason you returned, and what are you looking forward to? On the other side, if you are a veteran player, what is your advice to returning players who are logging into the game again for the first time in months or years even? What would you like to share with the returning players to help them have a good time in the game? And what would you share in terms of advice for gold making, if that's what somebody was interested in checking out? I'd love to see your guys' comments in the chat, or as comments on the blog post itself, if you had some feedback to share. I see you have 3 Spectral Tiger Cub battle pets. I'd be willing to give you enough gold to buy a WoW token for all 3, you know, as a way to welcome you back. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you don't want to be shortchanging anybody in that regard. That's definitely very evil. Loot is good. Indeed, indeed. So I think those were the biggest changes that I thought of when I was thinking about this. the WoW token, the in-game changes on the auction house, the cross-realm zones and the black market auction house are all very relevant gold making things to be aware of. And I like the comments from Gold Queen Ricky and Posty regarding kind of take your time with things, research a little bit, don't just start doing things without some context, and take it from there. Scorchane says we'll try and get them to go and read the WoW economy posts. Yeah, for sure. Get everybody involved. What's up, sweet nice man? Hope you're doing well today. I craft as much as I can with Primal Might. All the blacksmithing and leatherworking stuff that requires it is always good. So, next section is pretty short, but before we chat about it, just a quick reminder that we do have an active giveaway on a stream right this second if you guys want to get involved. If you're listening on the YouTube VOD at the moment, you do not need to enter in the YouTube comments, but if you're on Twitch or the Wowhead homepage at this moment in time, do feel free to click through and join the stream chat. Type the word Goblin and follow the stream and you will enter for your chance to win 30 days of WoW game time. And it's open to both EU and NA players, and we'll be announcing a winner here shortly in the next 10-15 minutes as we get through to the end of the Wowhead blog post. So once again, if you are listening on the Wowhead homepage, I do appreciate it, and do feel free to join us in the stream chat and type the word Goblin in the stream chat itself, and also follow the stream in order to qualify as a potential winner. There's that loot from Wave Molly, or rather the Haze, who said keep up the good work. Thank you so much for the support. And Scorchane said, I don't know if it's popped up on stream yet, but thank you for all your great help and great info as always. Your time is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for the kind words, Scorchane. It's very kind of you. Glad you're part of the community. So a super short section here at the Midsummer Festival. There wasn't really any in-depth written guides, but there's not really too much that goes into it. You're just kind of flying around collecting things, you're doing a few quests. It's the same situation as most holiday events. You go around collecting stuff, convert the collected things at the vendor for some mounts or pets and stuff like that. So as always with holiday events, there's a bit of gold to be made, and this event is a midsummer holiday. It started on June 21st, not yesterday but the day before, and it runs all the way through till July 5th on both EU and NA servers. There's a full event guide on Wowhead, which I guess we'll take a very quick look at. You'll be going around collecting all the burning blossoms, which is the currency for the Midsummer Festival. There's a few titles to collect as well, and some companions and some toys. If you haven't already collected these, do require a large number of burning blossoms, but you can acquire a lot of burning blossoms on each character in order to convert the vendor. So very helpfully, there's a couple of guides, or a couple of maps rather, on the guide on Wowhead with all the waypoints. And I'm sure if you head to the comments, there is also some TomTom waypoints and stuff like that. There's also a daily dungeon you can do for Lord Ehun. I guess it's very similar to the Brazilian guy who got his high society top hat recipe. But there's transmogs you can get, the weapon, what's it called even? Frost Scythe of Lord Ehun, which is what I used on my priest for a while.
Time is money, friend!
Oh my goodness, what's up, Skull? Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome everybody, hope you guys are doing well. Hope your workout didn't go disastrously, heading back to the gym. But yeah, I hope your stream went well. We're just walking the way through our World of Warcraft economy wrap up. So if you guys are interested in checking out the blog post, there is a link to do so in the chat. We are welcoming a lot of new returning players through the promotion from Blizzard. So one of my best advice for returning players is to take it slow if you're interested in getting into the economy. And now is a good time actually because it is the Midsummer Fire Festival and there's some gold making opportunities there as well. So do stick around if you'd like to get involved in the WoW economy. There's lots of gold making to be had. And there is actually a giveaway active at the moment on the stream, so do type the word Goblin in the chat for your chance to win 30 days of WoW game time. Especially if you are a returning player, it'd be perfect to get things going.
How you doing?
So if you would like to participate, just type the word Goblin in the chat and follow the stream, and we'll be announcing a winner after we finish up the Wowhead section of the stream, which will be in the next 5-10 minutes or so.
I have a deal for you.
So the Midsummer Fire Festival, there are some companions, as I said, to collect. You can also convert your burning blossoms into some heirloom upgrades, which is also good for veteran players. But it's a pretty simple event. As I said, it runs all the way through till July 5th on both regions, and will be good to get involved if you haven't participated already. So our final section of the blog post this week, it's a pretty niche add-on that's been developed by a community member, but it's going to be super helpful for those of you who are heavily invested in the pet market, especially if you're moving stock between multiple realms. I did unfortunately forget to link Slok Nightfall, S-L-O-K Nightfall on Reddit. I'll make sure I go back in and make sure to fix that. But they've shared their new creation after last week's discussion that we had on pet resources. So there's a new add-on that he's developed, he or she. Battle Pet Cage Match is now available on Curse. It has some amazing features, including flagging pets in your journal for any pets that it detects that are currently caged in your inventory. Flags the pets in your journal for any pets that is detected in other characters' inventory, and has integration with Trade Skill Master to show pets directly in the pet journal with the ability to filter based on a specific price. So that in itself is kind of like mind-blowing to a lot of pet traders, to be able to see that information at a glance in your pet journal. Yeah, as Bill has said in the chat, there's a few who are exclusively trading in pets that have kind of developed their own systems and their own little macros and add-ons to be able to handle moving pets between servers, which I guess is what this add-on is focused on. So yeah, next section, or next features, you can actually automatically cage your pets, which match a set of user-specified options, and you can get an ability to manually create a white or black list for caging and uncaging pets. And it can be triggered from the new cage icon in the pet journal. So this little icon here beside Dandelion Frolicker, you can click on this button in the add-on and it will cage the pet instead of having to right click, scroll down the menu and then do another left click. It's very, very efficient to be able to do that, especially when you're moving pets to and from different servers. You can also bind that button to a key, so you can just press a button on your keyboard when you've got your mouse over the inventory and your pet journal. So as I say, it's going to be super duper efficient and helpful to have this kind of add-on installed for your pet trading purposes. As I say, it's crazy powerful and you're going to save a lot of time by installing it. So if you are involved in pet trading, definitely go ahead and check it out. This is the last section on the Wowhead blog. And if you're interested in joining the pet market as a gold maker, there's some interesting guides that we have on the Discord server and on the WoW Economy subreddit, and I'll pop a link to the Discord server in the chat there. So that pretty much wraps up the Wowhead section of the stream today. So good opportunity to now do the giveaway. So I'll give you guys a little more chance to get involved. I met Gumdrops in London 2 days ago. Yes, indeed, Scott. Thanks once again for hanging out at the Partner Summit. I was just chatting to the stream before we got started today about the fun activities that were going on there. It was pretty inspiring to see the Twitch staff and obviously all of the Twitch partners chatting and networking and hanging out. Hope your travels back home were good. But yeah, as I say, welcome everybody. You joined at the perfect time because we do have a giveaway active right now. If you are listening on the Wowhead homepage, or the blog post itself, do feel free to click through and get yourselves involved. Type the word Goblin in the stream chat and follow the stream, and we'll be picking a winner here in just a moment for 30 days of WoW game time. We do have a little bit of sub luck on just to give you guys who've been supporting the stream a little more chance to win. But we do have a giveaway every Saturday as part of our Wowhead streams. So I'll do a quick scroll down the entry list on the left hand side here. If you do not see your name in the chat, do go ahead and get involved.
You break it, you buy it.
Thank you everybody for participating so far, and welcome if you are new to the stream. I think my stream follow goal is completely broken now. I definitely haven't only had 19 followers. All of you guys joining us today. But I do see some regulars in the entry list here, and I do see lots of new people, which is awesome to see. I do hope you guys stick around if you want to get some tips and tricks on gold making.
I got the best deals anywhere.
If you are new to the stream, of course, just a quick introduction. My name is Gumdrops, and I'm the lead moderator for the WoW Economy subreddit on Reddit and the Discord server. And I am the support manager for Trade Skill Master. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with it or have at least heard of the add-on. Might have been too scary to get involved in the first time you tried it. But I'm here to help if you have any questions with Trade Skill Master or are looking to get started with gold making. You are definitely in the right place. So feel free to ask any questions in the chat and hang out with me for the rest of this evening's stream once we finish the giveaway here. And he has a cat? Yes indeed, Jack. Posted some pictures of Mr. Cat here recently on Twitter. So lots of entries. Last chance to get involved, guys. We're going to go ahead and find a winner in just a second. Do type the word Goblin in the chat and follow the stream for your chance to win 30 days of WoW game time on both EU or NA. Open to everybody. Go ahead and find a winner here.
I got the best deals anywhere.
So here we go. Let's click the roll it and see who wins. It's Mr. Scorchane. Long-time viewer, long-time follower and subscriber. Thank you very much for being part of the community, and congrats on winning some game time today. It's rigged, yeah. It's always rigged, Belazor. Do say something in the chat, unless you've gone AFK. I hope you haven't. Zamna says, how many hours do you spend in a day farming? I don't spend any time farming, Zamnest. I'm primarily at the auction house just buying and selling stuff.
I got what you need.
So, where is Scorchane? They were here just a moment ago. I hope you're not wandering around AFK. I lost all my TSM groups when the TSM 4 beta went down. How do I get them back? So you want to roll back to TSM 3, Marcus Defu, by changing your settings in the TSM app and then trying to upgrade again to TSM 4. But you haven't lost everything. All of your app is saving backups of your TSM profile, so don't worry, you haven't lost anything. So Scorchane says, I didn't enter this time. I was hoping that someone that really needed it would get it. Well, if you'd like, I can re-roll it. But you've won in the first instance.
I know a buyer when I
certainly don't mind if you'd like to re-roll. If you are entering now, you are still eligible to participate.
I have a deal for you.
Because I was actually thinking about picking a second winner, considering the returning player situation. Yeah, exactly, Scorchane. All the new players getting free weekends, hoping someone can get it to keep playing. Yeah, that sounds good to me. I do appreciate it. So Scorchane has very generously offered to re-roll. So if you haven't already entered, do go ahead and type away Goblin. We're going to be rolling for a new winner in just a second. Pick all the winners, yeah. So let's go ahead and re-roll. Ninja 12-4-55. long-time viewer, subscriber 2. Congrats on winning one of 2, because I am going to do a second one. I don't normally do 2, but since it is returning weekend for a lot of players, and to celebrate the all the new faces in the stream from Scores Raid, we'll do a second giveaway. So rigged. Hopefully Ninja's not AFK now. You guys are taking your time with responding to these wins.
Ah, potential customer.
Which is most unlike you. Been almost a minute. We'll go to the
Best deals anywhere.
go to the 2-minute mark, I think. Give people a chance to respond. What a shame they're missing Saturday afternoon ASMR. Yeah, exactly, Wave Molly. So I can't even give away 30 days of game time. People aren't paying attention. It's normally the case that we have to re-roll once or twice. But yeah, everybody is still eligible. We still have 143 entries. We are yet to find a winner for the first round of game time. 20 seconds left.
Do I have a deal for you?
15 seconds. What's up, McBainey? I have to say, from what I've seen of the TSM beta, it looks amazing. Yeah, I think so too, Watcher. I think the whole team's pretty happy with how it's coming together. We did actually bring a designer on board specifically, so it's no longer something designed by programmers for programmers. It used to be kind of a spreadsheet on steroids, but TSM4 definitely looks a lot better these days. So I'm going to say that is an AFK winner. We're going to click on re-roll it once again. Maybe third time's a charm. Dan Debacle, new follower, welcome to the stream. You are winner number 3. Hopefully you are not AFK. We'll be able to give you some game time today. But stick around, everybody, because we are going to pick another winner if Dan Debacle is here. If not, we've got 2 more winners to pick.
Hey, how you doing?
Hopefully we'll find some people. Rigged to get new viewers, something like that. Hey, what's up, Dan? Congrats on winning the game time. We've finally found a winner. Just send me a quick whisper on Twitch. Let me know which region you're in. First time ever winning anything. That's awesome. I'm glad I could give you your first win. As I say, just give me a quick whisper on Twitch. Let me know which region you're in, and I'll fire over a code for you to redeem after the stream. Don't like doing purchases while I'm broadcasting. Yeah, you're on NA, that's awesome. No problem at all. We'll go ahead and get in touch with you after the stream. I'll probably be streaming another few hours. Nothing super late.
All hail the greatest trade prince on Azeroth! Me.
I certainly wasn't expecting that. Jack the Dipper gifting a sub as well. You're winning some game time and a sub to the channel. Thank you so much, Jack, and welcome to the Goblin Club, Dan. Enjoy your badge in the chat. And all of the Goblin emotes, I see those in the chat. All the newcomers, it's awesome to see. Thank you very much for the support, Jack, that's awesome. So let's roll for a second winner. Hopefully the second winner is here too. Just click that button. We have, is that Piso or Piso? Piso Mojado? Following since December. Long time viewer. Thank you for your continued support. Is Piso not Piso? Astuf? I guess you're here. I do struggle with some names. Congratulations on winning some game time. You claimed it pretty quickly. I think you've been paying attention. That's wet flow. Okay. I'll have to take your guys' word for it. What's up, Bronzy? Good to see you. I think it's pronounced Balash. Nice one, Willis. That's always going to be hilarious.
I got the best deals anywhere.
But yeah, congrats on winning another 30 days of game time. Thank you for participating, everybody. Commiserations if you did not win this week. But don't forget, there is going to be another giveaway next week as part of my Wowhead economy wrap-up. Already done. We're done with the giveaway. That's the end of the Wowhead section of the stream. But we'll be continue streaming and going through my auction house stuff and answering questions and helping you guys beat better goblins. I'm here that I win. Not quite, Nelly, but hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining us. Anyone here does have a Swift Spectral or Spectral Tiger? I want to use it on the beta to see if I want to buy it soon. I'm sure you'll find some people.
All hail the greatest
Oh my
trade
goodness.
prince on Azeroth.
Jack,
Me.
you have to stop. Congrats. I guess it's Piso for the sub as well. Welcome to the Goblin Club. Thank you so much, Jack, once again for the gifted sub. Enjoy your badge and the Goblin emotes. Courtesy of Jack the Dipper, the one and only. Jack swelling with generosity, absolutely. So, thank you guys for joining me for the first part of the stream. As I said, we'll be continuing and doing some auction house activities. Let me go ahead and fix up the stream here so we're not clickbaiting things like we have in the past and discussed on Wowhead last week. Let's fix the stream title. Let's update that. That's all good. Let's change the giveaway command. Oh yeah, by the way, just send me a message on Twitch. Just send me a quick whisper. Piso, to let me know which region you're in. Anyone want to buy a balloon? No thank you, Jack. Hopefully you find a winner soon, or a buyer rather. So, giveaway has finished. Tune in next week for more game time giveaways. It's fixed. So, what are we doing first? We finished posting stuff here. We'll head on to our next characters. But yeah, that concludes the Wowhead section. Thank you guys for joining me so far. As I say, we'll be continuing, and I'll be paying much more attention to chat, answering questions. So if you do have any ideas you want to discuss or GSM issues you have, I'd be happy to help out. That's what the stream is all about.